Afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get things started. We would like to welcome Corey Connors to the Media Center here at the RBC Heritage. Corey, welcome, making your 8th start with the Canadian Open. Just some opening thoughts on what it's like to be back as a Canadian.
Yeah, this is a really special event. For me and the other Canadians, it's our, national championship. Feels like a major to us, and me particularly, came here as a kid to watch the PGA Tour pros play, and being able to play myself, is really special. It's an event I always look forward to, and this year is no different. So really excited to be here, and the fan support and the love I feel out on the golf course is pretty special here, and hopefully helps me perform well. I had a good finish last year, and hopefully can draw off of that and get myself in the mix again this year.
And fresh off your Pro-Am, just get some comments about what the course is like and if you've had any prior background playing this course.
Yeah, I played in a tournament here in 2010, the Ontario Better Ball Championship, partnered up with my buddy Taylor Pendrith there. Other than that, was able to play a few times a little over a week ago and check out the course, get a feel for it. But the condition of the golf course is fantastic. The rough is really thick. The greens are rolling true, and overall it's in incredible shape. It's going to be a fun test. There's certainly some tricky holes out there, and not having a ton of experience, but being able to play it a few times prior, I think, is definitely helpful. And I've got a good game plan how I want to attack the course, and I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun week and a beautiful golf course.
Already a win this season. How's your game feeling entering the week, and what goals do you have for the rest of the season?
Yeah, my game's feeling good. I've had an inconsistent season, I would say. Some great finishes and some missed cuts, but overall, I felt things are always really close. Even the weeks I've haven't made the weekend, but I've been working hard on my game. I feel like all parts of my game are as strong as they've ever been, really, and it's just a matter of going out there and getting the ball in the hole. But I do feel good about everything, and hopefully can play well and get myself near the top of the leaderboard for Sunday.
Perfect. With that, we'll open up to questions to the media. Have a question, raise your hand. Get a microphone over to you. Start off here, front right.
Hi, Corey. It's Peter Robinson. I'm wondering if, I'm sure you were shocked yesterday at this time, but I'm wondering if you had 24 hours to sort of calm down and think about the events of yesterday, and if you can give us some perspective, if it has changed or generally.
Yeah, it was definitely shocking news to caught off guard a little bit, but to be honest, I haven't digested much of it. This being such a big week at the RBC Canadian Open, my focus is really on that. But what I'll say is I do have a lot of faith in the leadership of the PGA Tour. I know there's a lot of smart people working for us that will make the right decisions, and right away, some players may not necessarily agree with the decision, but I certainly have faith that it's going to be a positive direction for the PGA Tour, and I have a lot of faith in our leadership.
You've kind of answered this, but I'll just maybe get a bit more detail. The reality is you hadn't really had much with the cancellations and all that experience playing the Canadian Open as an established pro, right? And then last year, particularly on Sunday, you went low. Can you speak to a little bit? Are you more familiar with all the attention? And does this course have any similarities to last year where you clearly played well at St. George's?
Yeah, first of all, I think this course has some similarities to St. George's. There's some, undulating fairways and some elevated greens and the thick rough. My record here at the RBC Canadian Open is not particularly great. Saying that, did miss a few years when I felt like I was playing well, and at their point, I'm definitely getting more comfortable with the added attention. It's not every week that most fans know who I am walking around, and so this is a special week for that. But definitely embracing that and more comfortable with the added things that this event brings. But yeah, I just thrilled to be here again. It's gonna be fun.
Moving over left side, John here.
Hey, Corey. Huron-Perth is one of the counties affected by the forest fires and under the air pollution advisory. Is everyone good back home at Listowel? And how does this sort of smoky conditions here affect you as an athlete?
Yeah, it's, as far as I know, I think everybody's, in good shape back home. It's not something that you want to deal with. It's a pretty scary situation, but yeah, it's, as far as here, it's not really affecting, my outlook of the week, and, haven't really been bothered too much by it thus far, but, it is a serious problem, and, I'm hoping, for a resolution, they get figured out and it doesn't get any worse.
Also, obviously, there's nearly a 70-year drought here in terms of Canadians winning the national championship. What would it mean to you personally to be the one to end that drought?
Yeah, it'd really be a dream come true. Growing up as a junior golfer in Listowel, Ontario, I, dreamt of winning the Canadian Open, and it's certainly not easy to do, but I'm excited to be teeing it up and feeling good about my game. It would certainly mean a lot, to me personally, but I think playing for golf fans all across Canada, I know that would be pretty sweet for them as well.
Moving back over to the right side.
Corey, Simon Dingley from CBC. Just going back to the issue of the smoke, some of the other golfers have told us they actually do notice the smoke. Have you noticed it out there at all?
I really haven't, to be honest. A little bit yesterday afternoon, but typically I don't know if my sunglasses help not notice that. Typically wear sunglasses when I'm playing, and today, if you were to ask me if I noticed it, no, not at all.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
And we'll pass the microphone up a row.
Hey, Corey. This is the second year in a row that some blockbuster news breaks at the Canadian Open. Sort of how unfair do you think that is, and is it something that you kind of hope that the tour would keep in mind when they're redoing any schedule for next season?
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing for the news that we got yesterday, and like you mentioned last year, there was a lot going on in the golf world during this week, so I definitely feel for RBC. I think it's unfortunate timing for this event, the RBC Canadian Open, and unfortunate timing for RBC, which is such a great partner of me and a great partner of golf and the PGA Tour. Having the RBC Canadian Open and RBC Heritage, so I definitely feel bad for them a little bit. But saying that, I think there's still going to be a lot of focus on the RBC Canadian Open this week, and it's going to be an exciting week.
And going back to yesterday, do you think there's clearly some anger with some of your colleagues, maybe even yourself? Was it more to do with the deal that they know of it so far, or how it was delivered?
It's hard to say. I think a lot of the players didn't really get an opportunity to understand, and just made some judgments prematurely. And certainly everyone is entitled to their opinion. And at first I was a little caught off guard, but trying to understand the situation, which again I really haven't dove too deep into it, but I do trust the leadership of the PGA Tour, and I think people just don't like being surprised by things, and with it being a player-led tour, it was off-putting for some guys to receive the news the way that we did. But again, my belief is we've got some smart people working on our behalf, and they're doing the best thing they can for us as PGA Tour members and for the game of golf.
Sticking on the right side, next to Simon.
Hey Corey, when you think back to your 2019 win at Valero and then that sort of full circle moment in April just a couple months ago, how would you describe your evolution as a person and as a golfer in those 4 years?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot in between those two wins, but I felt like you know, as a golfer, my game continued to get refined and became more consistent. You know, as a person, you know, I was now a father of a 1.5-year-old daughter, and having her there, seeing me win, although she won't remember it, you know, I'll remember her running out to the green, you know, for the rest of my life, and that was certainly, you know, that aspect of it was really special. But yeah, you know, for the time between, you know, I had a lot of good finishes and, you know, gave myself a number of chances. It's certainly not easy to win, but, you know, I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of positive developments as a person and a golfer between those 2 wins.
And then just, you're often described as sort of level-headed and like unflappable kind of demeanor. Would you agree with that? And if so, how do you maintain that?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, my personality is pretty boring and try and be pretty boring out on the golf course. Never really get too high and never really get too low. Just, you know, keep putting one foot in front of the other. And, you know, I feel like that's the way I've always been, you know, in everything that I do. And it works out in golf for the most part. I would certainly say there's situations out there where I'm uncomfortable, but, you know, I try and, you know, remember, you know, good things that have happened or times I've gotten myself out of those situations and draw from that. But yeah, never too high, never too low.
We're going over to left, then we'll go to Lucas next.
Yeah, going back to the PGA Championship a few weeks ago, certainly had a Canadian Open feel Sunday on the first tee for you there, and the day didn't go as you would have wanted. I'm just wondering what you may have learned out of that whole experience on Sunday that you can take forward to maybe make you better the next time you're in that position.
Yeah, it was obviously a great spot to be in at the PGA Championship, and there was a lot of Canadian fans supporting me, which was, you know, really special. You know, I just kind of got out of my rhythm a little bit early on in the round, and there was a few decisions that you know, made I would have liked over, and they kind of festered, you know, through the round. I wasn't really able to reset and get refocused, and yeah, just the rhythm was a little bit off. So, you know, if I could do it over again, there was a couple moments out there where I would have, you know, took a few more deep breaths and sort of reset my mind and focused on the game plan and just settled down a little bit more.
We have Lucas here on the right.
Hey, Corey, just building off of that, how does competing in a major championship compare to competing in your national open here in Canada?
Honestly, for me, it's, you know, very similar. It's an event that's, you know, circled on the calendar from the beginning of the year where, you know, I want to be playing my best and, you know, be feeling my best this week. And, yeah, it's similar to the major championships where you know where they are on the calendar and you try and build your schedule to make sure that you're, you know, playing but not playing too much leading up to them. And it's a big deal, this event, and it always will be. And yeah, to say the RBC Canadian Open's like the fifth major for us Canadians, and it's a very special event.
Time for just a few more here in the very front.
Hey, Corey, you might have noticed there are a lot of class field trips here today, a lot of students. For someone laying eyes on golf for the first time today and just thinking, I want to do that, what advice would you have for a pathway for that student who's just saw it today and wants to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say to them, you know, anything's possible if you work at it. You know, I was in their position, you know, on a trip took a bus to the RBC Canadian Open with a bunch of junior golfers from Listowel, Ontario, and you know, I'm sure I was out there thinking, wow, I'd love to do that one day. And you know, if you put your mind to it and have fun along the way, you know, it's possible. And I'd say, just, yeah, go for it.
And we'll take final two.
Hey, Corey, we just asked Mac about this, and he talked about how important it would be for him, the idea of a President's Cup team. You know, it's a little more than a year away here in Canada. Mike Weir, a captain. You know, you talk about this like a fifth major. What would it be for you to be a part of one of those teams and just do it in Canada?
Yeah, it would be, you know, really, really special. I grew up idolizing Mike, and, you know, watching him win the Masters in '03 was incredible. And he's been a great mentor to me over the last few years. And I know he's going to be a great captain for the international team in the President's Cup, and it would be a huge honor for me to be a part of that team. And it's definitely a big goal of mine, looking over the next year to try and put myself in a good position to qualify for that team. And getting a taste of President's Cup action this past fall, definitely learned a lot, and would like some redemption with my performance there. And I think the atmosphere of the President's Cup in Canada is going to be unbelievable, and I know the Canadian fans are really going to be cheering us on. So it would definitely be a great honor and privilege to be on that team, and in Canada with Mike makes it extra special.
Perfect. That's all the questions we have. Corey, thanks for taking the time to join us. Good luck this week.
Thanks very much.